Hello, internet world, Facebook world, YouTube world. Natasha here, hope you're well. Yes, so I'm coming to you on Monday the 12th of March 2018, and today is the 50th anniversary of the independence of Mauritius. So Mauritius is my home country where my parents were born, and it's a very, very special place. I was there not so long ago. I've spent 5 weeks with my family and really connecting to the land and to the people and to nature, to the trees, to the ocean. And I really got to really understand where Mauritius as a country, as a land, as people are. And when I heard that it was the 50th year since our independence, and my sister was talking about wanting to do something special on this day, get together with family, really commemorate it and mark it, because it is a special day. It got me thinking about why is it special? And what is 50 years? And what is the context within this 50 years at this time on planet Earth? And has it been 50 years of unraveling of colonialism? Have we done that unraveling? And if so, where are we with that? And that's what really fascinates me. So yeah, I wanted to share some of my feelings with you. And this isn't about the British rule and what happened, and the French rule before that, and what happened, and who said what, and who did what, and resources, and I'm not interested in that. I'm more interested in how the energies and the patterns that were created as a result of a process of colonization, how have those changed and unraveled and influenced us through this 50-year period that there has been passed since Mauritius gained its independence. So you have colonization, and colonization ends, and then there's been this grace period where I guess culture and the land and people kind of find, it's their own places, their own kind of energetic frequency, and people and the land and the energies have a chance to kind of unravel from this process. That's what's been going on in this 50 years. And I guess from my point of view, from my generation, being a second generation British Mauritian living away from Mauritius, I can see with some kind of perspective the impact that colonialism has had, but how in my own way I've started to unravel that. So I didn't used to really be very conscious and aware of colonialism before I went to university. I just thought it was a thing that happened and it was quite normal throughout the world. And my parents had, they'd brought me up to be pretty aware, pretty switched on, and to actually question stuff. So I had that amazing foundation. And then I went to uni and I really learned about imperialism, colonialism. And I learned about all of the secret stuff that governments were doing to try and kind of influence the whole global political agenda and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, whoa, what's going on here? And I started to really understand what was going on. And then I left uni and I started to work, and I started on the spiritual path, and I really started to see it from another perspective. I started to move from a place of actually really, to be honest, detesting the structures and the forces, that had been involved in slavery and colonialism. It was really tough for me going through university and it all hitting home, what had really happened. A huge part of me now is just on my chest, just just stifling my breathing. And then I went through this spiritual process of understanding and having kind of compassion for it. And where I am now is at a place of understanding just how important it is for us to recognize that we are in a process of decolonization. That's what I really feel. And the process of decolonization isn't just about the political structures, the, public structures. It's not just a process of language and all that other stuff. It's actually a process of within, the decolonization from within, and we're forgetting that. And since I've been tuning into this idea over the past year and have had to do such deep work, because what I've realized is that those very patterns, those very emotions, all that stuff that was conditioned within us, but that was also projected onto us, we hold on to that stuff. And then what I do is project that out onto people around me. And I had this huge light bulb moment last year when I realized that the colonized become the colonizer. So those codes are within us. And I ended up projecting and just redistributing those very same colonizer behaviors and emotions and attitudes, onto the world, onto the people around me, onto the people that I love, my husband, my parents, my friends. And a lot of it does come from that place of deep insecurity and the need for survival and all that stuff that's we've got to hold on to the control. I need that control, because if I can control this, then I'll be okay, or my family will be okay, and I can look down the line, the ancestral line, and I can see that in my family. I can see that in my community. I can very much see that somehow, because of those experiences of being colonized, that we've picked up on those codes and we've created those codes within ourselves, and then that's what we project out into the world. So it's this cycle of reproduction of colonizer codes and patterns that is continuing. And when will it end? When does it stop? So it's been the toughest 12 months for me to really reflect on that, and to really accept that, and to see the news, to see the government, to see the structures, whatever you want, however you want to see the colonizer stuff, the force, the energy, whatever, to see that as the mirror, and my process of decolonization and unraveling from colonialism is about looking deeply within me, to look and understand and find where are those patterns and those codes of the colonizer within me, and what can I do to transform those and dissolve those, to prevent the colonizer pattern being replicated again, because it's a very clever pattern. It's a very clever pattern because it knows how to keep the cycle going and keep the colonization going. So, okay, it may not be countries now, but it's the colonization of the mind. And I'm cringing now. I'm cringing all the time at myself when I'm looking at, my behavior in a situation or a relationship or whatever, and I'm like, oh my fucking God, I'm literally just reproducing this colonization energy. I'm trying to colonize that person by imposing my ideas, by imposing my thoughts, by trying to get them to do something, like trying to get them to behave in a certain way, by telling them they should be this or they should be that. And this is what I'm talking about. You know, these are those very codes of control and manipulation that exists within us until we transform them. So yeah, more videos and blogs and to come in the future, which will hopefully help you all unravel and decolonize. And much of my work is about that. Much of my energy work, my shamanic work, my coaching, my health and well-being work, my work in communities is very much about that, you know, and it has always been about that, even when I didn't really know and I didn't realize. It's just that now I see it with this colonizer, decolonizer lens, and I understand it really holistically, that, you know, we're at a time where this is up for us to transform, and it's up to us. We all have a role to play, you know. All of us, no matter what we're doing, we're humans, okay? We have come here on planet Earth to play a role on planet Earth. And it might just be as really small or as big as whatever you want it to be. And it could just be that, you know, you're here to be present and here to get, you know, to maybe understand it and be mindful of it. And it could be that, you know, you're here to help assist the planet to shift and see stuff, and it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter what it is. I just feel as long as we connect within our hearts and ask ourselves how we truly feel about colonization, the colonizer, the other. How do we really see, do we see the story behind it? Do we see it as the other? Or do we see the patterns within us? That really uncomfortable stuff, the mirror of the colonizer. Do we see that? Can we look within us and understand how, through transforming the colonizer codes within ourselves, we can transform it for everyone? You know, we can do our tiny little bit. So, yeah, so happy to share with you. Happy Independence Day for all my fellow Mauritians out there. Yeah, we are truly wonderful human beings. Love you all.